Tune in to Nasty Knuckles podcast, the greatest podcast talking hockey and knuckles since podcasts were started.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer, Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Regalia?
Are you making out? You recovered from our 3v3 tourney last week?
Groins are a little sore. I was feeling a little bit on Sunday night, but great time. Mr. Snider's 3-on-3 tournament. We made it to the finals again. But this year was a little different. We lost, which is the same as last year, but we got shit kicked.
We got our ass whooped.
We had 0 double D.
Oh,
dandy.
Geez.
We needed a little double dandy. We didn't have it.
No legs, no execution, a lot of turnovers.
Got to thank Reg and Anthony and TiVo and JD, George Davison, and you and me. We had a great time. Great day.
It was a great day.
They ran it really well. It was a lot of fun. Lauren Hart is the #1 anthem singer in the NHL, but I would have just rather her come in the room and sing, so we didn't have to sit there an extra hour and a half to wait for that. It was kind of cool having her sing the anthem where I'm on the blue line, but you've done that before. Us pigeons haven't.
It was neat, but after a game 4, I'm just gassed. I was just like, let's just play the game right now.
And dude, how good can she sing? Like, she's so good, man.
Belts it out like it was a playoff cool game of some sort.
But I went into I went into the other room, and I said to the guys, I was like, hey, like, you guys want to go ahead and play? There's an open rink, because they had the 3, and they were like, oh, we gotta wait because Lauren's come to sing. And I said, well, if we have her sing to us right now, all of us, can we do the, they're like, I don't think it works that way. I was like, oh, but it was a cool event, cool day, a lot of fun. Sucked losing, but those guys beat us fair and square.
Oh yeah, they did.
They beat us fair and square, and they beat us like a drum.
Oh my god.
Like a drum.
Like a bongo.
It was bad.
Every turnover's in the net.
Yeah.
We couldn't do anything. No legs, no execution. But all good.
Yeah, it was good. And you bailed on your teammates again on Sunday.
Well, I was in your old neck of the woods.
Cuddles Cote driving down to North Kakalaki. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. You're a good man. You're a good man. You're doing something nice. So still a little pissed, but we managed to win.
Yep.
G-note to helpers, not a big deal. I don't know who's counting, but
certainly not me.
Pretty sick. Well, I guess not because you weren't there. No, it was fun. We had a good game Sunday against Mad Elf, bunch of good dudes. Other than that, brother,
3 games deep, Flyers.
Yep. 3 games deep, 2-1. Looked really good last night.
Yes. It was a strong performance.
Very strong. Rick Tocchet from Vancouver, the head coach. We were supposed to go down and have a little sit down with him, which would have been awesome.
Phillies pushed the game back 6 p.m.
Yeah, they had to change the time, so it kind of screwed our day up. But we'll catch him next time. But he wasn't pleased with his team's performance after the game. He just said we were outworked, which they were. Nice to see Coots. He gets a goal, his first goal in almost 2 years, close to 2 years. Big Z, Zamula.
Let's talk about Coots' goal.
Well, little penalty shot. Looked like you with that skill.
Yeah, looked like me.
You in St. Louis. I saw him do that move last year. I think Baller may have posted that. But sick move, man.
Yeah, man. That's ballsy.
I guess as a goalie, you don't know if they're going to fire it with the back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, that's it. It's just kind of smoke and mirrors. You don't know what the hell he's going to do, right?
Yeah. Julian Brown lives with me, one of my billet kids, and he said that his sons do that move. St. Louis. Yeah, I guess he's played against them. But anyway, yeah, great move, great goal, was nice.
Nice to see that. Yeah, you mentioned Zamula.
Yeah, Zamula getting his first goal. Great patience, waited for the forward sliding by.
That's hard to teach.
Yeah,
or you can't teach it. I think that's the gift right there.
I was happy for him. He's such a good guy, such a happy dude since the day he got here.
Yeah, that was nice.
If it wasn't for Demko, that score could have been 7-0, and I'm dead serious too. That's being kind.
Yeah,
he made some
sprawling,
as well as Carter Hart played, getting his 6th career shutout, which was nice. I think 25 shots on net. He played great. Demko was unreal.
Yeah,
because that game was, I think, way more lopsided. Obviously, you could see that with the shots, but it was a good game, man. They played hard. They were hard to play against. They played fast.
Yep.
So it's nice. They're 2-1. You know, we don't want to get too excited. We know what's happened before when we get excited.
But it's
fun to watch.
Yeah, you got to be happy with the start, and you just got to be happy with the direction it's going. You're gonna have a nice little test tomorrow.
Yep. That's a fast team.
It's a fast team, but. I like what I'm seeing. You know, we talk about this. You know, with Coots back, adds a whole other dimension. Cam and some of these young guys stepping their game up. They look like a team. They look like a legitimate team.
Yep.
So I think the fans should be happy. I think obviously the coaching staff's got to be pleased with what they're seeing, the effort, the intensity.
Yep. For sure.
It'd be a nice little test for them against the Oil, but.
Yep.
I mean, every game's going to be a test.
Every
obviously.
game's a test in this league,
here.
yeah, for sure.
So,
all right.
Are we ready to rock your nest?
Are we ready?
You're not ready.
I'm ready. We got our boy Fridge coming into the house.
Oh, yeah. Fridgie 3.0.
3.0. New job. We got to ask him about it here.
Let's go. Here we go. Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. And this week we have our good friend of the show, veteran of 545 NHL hockey games, a lot here with your Flyers, the new color commentator for the Philadelphia Flyers radio broadcast. Congratulations, Todd Fedoruk. What's up, brother?
Not much. Thanks. It was a nice intro. Yeah, the new radio color analyst. A storied seat. Goes back all the way to the days of Gene Hart. I've been talking about this stuff too. Yeah, I'm happy about the job. I'm really actually ecstatic about it. It's big shoes to fill in Coatsy. It's a personality type of role, but you get to talk Flyers hockey at an important time in Flyers hockey.
Yeah, for sure, and being there back for every game. I know you probably get the juices flowing. You know, like watching the game. And, I was thinking, Riles, about Fridge. Like last night I'm at the game, I got Elvis and kids there with me, Chris and Julian. And I'm like, I wonder if Fridge gets wound up there. If there's going to be a time where something happens, he's going to be like rolling his his dress shirt off. Yeah, drinking coffee. Torch, you sure you don't need me coming down there on that line with D-Lo?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I can just see it. But no, congratulations, man. And like you said, it's a perfect fit. Like I couldn't think of anything better for you, honestly. Just the game, you played your whole life, and it's pretty cool to see there. And you have a great personality, and you're taking over for a guy who obviously had a great personality in Steve Coates. So, like, what's it been like so far? Is it hard? I know it's obviously different.
It's been an easy process because of the people that are already there. I mean, Timmy Saunders has been tremendous. Just his ability to call the game in the manner that he has. I'm familiar with it. And then Coatsy's been calling me every day, just helping me with stuff. And then look who I've got as guys that are mentors, like Keith Jones, Brian Boucher is involved now. So. All good guys, just kind of giving you their points, but at the end of the day, you got to trust what you know, and that's any player can do it if you're comfortable doing it, and I think I'm just gonna keep learning in the first year, and radio's a little different. I did have experience with some TV, doing some reps in Allentown with the Phantoms, and it helped actually for this because a lot of those players, Farabee, Frost, even Carter Hart, they were down there when I was doing that. Right. So the familiarity of that, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. You're back in the rink. I think that's what I like more about it is being around the like when you lose, it's bad. Yeah. And I feel that, and I I am that way too. Like, you don't talk after, you don't get on the phone, and all those little nuances that I forgot, I missed that. I forgot that I missed that, because your life when you're playing, it's based on wins and losses, right? And you're kind of, as a radio, you're not in that, but you got to act accordingly. Right, it's all about the athletes. It's all about the players, and this is their dream, right? So you're kind of around that. Keep it a dream, right? Keep it a dream for those young guys that are just getting there, and it's good to be a part of that too. Because I remember what it was like having your first game, and it's honestly an honor to talk about it for the kids. I knew my mom. She loved it. She loved hearing on the radio. So that's, I take that approach too, is like, remember who you're talking to when you're doing it. And yeah, it's, I enjoy it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I bet. What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
Timmy's Saunders obviously does the play-by-play, and he's the show, he's the one that he does has to do a lot. They got to remember a lot. They got to memorize everybody's names constantly, and he's got his whole process, and I don't want to disrupt that, right? And then he's so good at what he does is that he'll actually lead me in at certain times, or he'll break at certain times, and then you put your 2 cents in and out. So it's something, I guess, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I mean, I don't know, like, I don't sit there, and it's not like we go out over tape the next day.
Right.
It's just like, if someone says I'm doing good, it's like, great. I appreciate it. So I want to sound good.
Yeah.
I want to sound,
of course,
good because of the fans. They care about it.
Yeah,
know?
right.
And they're good fans here, so they understand. They understand the game. They understand when you're explaining it. They can kind of draw it up for themselves. So, yeah, I guess the ability to talk is finally paying off for me.
It's awesome. I had a question about when you're live. That's another thing. Like, it's live, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be ready at all times. But do you guys have someone in your ear? Like, do you hear other people talking like that are doing their whole production
there's
part?
a whole.
Does that bother you? Did it take
there's
some
a lot.
time?
Yeah,
because I've heard that it's like, you got you got someone talking, and you're trying to think about what you're getting ready to say. That's got to be difficult, man.
It is to talk. You can turn them down. They got knobs.
Yeah,
they got knobs.
Is that when you're doing your check one, check?
Yeah, I go, and they're like, they're volume knobs. I don't know why I do that. It's a habit. And they're like, woo.
They tell you to stop. They say stop.
But they're in the background, and they're saying things, and it can distract you if you like. I'm getting used to it. The first couple times you hear that they come in, and you're like,
where are they
right now? Yeah. But they're giving you cues on when to come in and stuff like that. I think Timmy listens a lot more than I do, and then I listen to Timmy. But you can turn them down too. But it's cool. They put sounds from the ice into the game, into the feeds and stuff, so we hear that. So you're like, you can hear the guys. Cool. Yeah, it's cool. You can pick it up, and even on the radio when they play it broadcast, you pick up the anthem at the start, and so they do a good job at that. I wasn't aware of how much actually went into it in the back end, like to get all the sounds of the game in there, and it makes a difference. Like, there's a couple preseason games we didn't have any of the background noises because they mic up the whole rink,
right?
And you can hear everything. So there's people in that truck hitting buttons to block out certain.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because there's in there a few second delay.
Language. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay, not much, but it's obviously for broadcast reasons, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are, like, I guess you call them in the truck. I never know where they are. I'm going to go find them one day.
I know where that truck
bring them some cookies and stuff like that. But there's a lot that goes into the production, and they make it easy for us to really, deliver the game, and it's easy to get excited. Like, I'm a fan too.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the Flyers, 100%. And it's hard not to be biased. And at the NHL, it's nice to talk about other good players too, like from around the league, like. Right. The skill set, like, again, like I said, I'm a fan, but what these players are doing in today's game at the rate of the speed that they're doing, and the game is exciting, and it's also getting a little bit that workman style approach is starting to turn into every team's approach again, which was, I think, not there for previous seasons because of changes or whatever it was. Playoffs were always something different than the regular season, and I think maybe just because of the progression of the game or whatever, you missed something. And a lot of coaches are kind of preaching that let's work to generate everything. And I know that that's what's happening here in Philadelphia. It's a big message of work first and generate everything off of work. And
yeah, well, obviously we've only played 3 regular season games, but talking about work, last night, I mean, they totally outworked Vancouver. Even Talk said after, he goes, we got outcompeted, we just got outplayed. And you could see it.
Yeah.
Last night it was easy to see.
I fully agree. I think, that game last night was probably, especially in the second. In the second, it was all Flyers. It was probably the best period that they played this year, I think. Regular season, that's the type of hockey they're going to have to play. So they're faster than most people think, and you don't see that maybe on the rush, but you see it in defense, right? And I know they're fast because they're stopping some of the fastest teams, right? So that means they're able to generate or stop the gaps, right? They're able to get up and take away time and space from fast teams. That shows me that they're quick themselves. And then you're seeing some other guys with deceptive speed in the lineup. Bobby Brink's one of them.
But everyone was saying, "Oh, he can't skate." Like I watched him last night. I'm like, I don't see that he can't. I mean, when they say he can't skate, they mean the speed. But he looked pretty quick to me last night.
He separates himself quickly. He's at full speed quickly, I think, and that's what. And he's quick. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. But it helped him because now everybody's saying he's actually deceptively quick, and I think it's his takeoff speed. He's got one or two strides, and you're away from him. He's small, and he knows how to use his size to his advantage. I don't know if he knows that. He's so young, I think 22, but still, a guy that throughout camp was, I guess, if you want to muse for a coach that says you're going to get what you earn, and we're going to give you what you earn each day throughout camp. And he's to a man, he kind of did that. Tortorella implemented that approach. And Bobby Brink, I watched all the preseason. I was there for the camps. He was that guy. He's working hard. And he's getting better. And then he got a little bit of an opportunity. He did good with that opportunity. Good for Bobby Brink, but it's kind of sends a message to the whole team. That's a truthful message too, because all those players, they're excited for a guy that does well. I know I was as a player. You're excited for a young guy no, man, he's doing it. Look at him go, and he keeps getting better. And last night, as icing on the cake, he had some nice plays, and he's generating plays as well. So the puck's following him around. I'm high on him right now too.
No, you know what? It's funny
because I like these stories in hockey. It's good for the team too. Right, it's really good for the team that we're having any player that's coming out of a shining star or something like that, but just doing good. You can rally around it. So hopefully the team feels that too. I think they probably would. Bobby seems like a pretty good kid, and I'm happy that he's doing well. I hope he sticks and stays. And that pushes some of the guys that might think that they're there, and you want that in any team. You want that in any locker room. And again, I mean, there's I'm obviously biased, but there's a lot of good things to talk about with the Philadelphia Flyers that I don't think is necessarily talked about in the league and at the national level. And, with Coots and Atkinson back, we're an unassuming team.
I agree
so
with
fine,
that, for sure.
Fine. We'll take it all year. Bush actually spoke to this in one of our broadcast roundtables that we do, which is fun too. But he talked about that because he's on the national stage a little bit more, so you're hearing more of the tones of conversation of what other teams and franchises are doing and how they look. And I don't think we've gotten enough respect, at that level. People are writing us off a little early. That's fine. We're underdog. We know where we're at. We're rebuilding. Second year of a rebuild. So, but we could be one of those teams that are, if we're not disrupting and wrecking people's shot at the playoffs, we might be right there at the end too. So
we talked about that last week. We kind of it was actually a great question we had last week. What if you are right there? And obviously the Flyers are in this rebuilding mode, which we've expected to be 2 to 3 years, right? Honestly, 3 years probably with Danny. That's kind of the number he threw out, but. We talked about if we had a question, what do you do Do you add players? Do you try to make the team better?
Yeah.
And, I saw one of the someone responded on one of the posts that Baller had put up, and they said, you don't, because you don't want to go to playoffs and win one round, just and give away some assets. But at the same time, we all know, Fridge, you've won. It doesn't, you get in, you never know. But I understand where we are.
Yes.
But anyway, back to the point.
Yeah.
So if you're in management or you're Danny and Jonesy, and comes down to the end of the year, say trade deadline or whatever, and you're 4 points in, 5 points in, what do they do?
Oh, I know.
Because you have some pieces that teams would probably want,
sure
like
we do,
Stahl,
yeah.
Like older veteran players. Obviously you don't want to give your kids away, but there's probably going to be times where people want these players. What do you do if you're right there?
That's one of those. That's a big management question, and that's a different scenario. I'm thinking about that. I'm flip flopping. In my old, if I was playing, and that's the context I'm going to draw it from. That's a no-go. Stick with it. Stick with the rebuild. Don't sell the farm and go after it because it wasn't that environment for the game.
Right.
Now there's so many upsets, and it's about getting in.
That's it.
So yeah, that's a different dynamic in today's game. So that you might have to go after it, depending. It all depends on how they get to you and how because the rebuild they're saying is 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And if you're in your second, third year and you got a shot, do you go after it, sell the farm? Because if you don't hit, guess what you're doing? You're starting to rebuild again.
Yeah.
So if the message is trust the process, guess what? You guys are the group we're going to stick with. You're going to get this experience. If we win, we win. We don't, we're doing it next year, and we're going to continue to go.
Right.
There's both ways you can look at it. So I don't know. That's a tough question, man, because I think you can win in today's game by getting in. And
never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Glad I'm not the GM.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that was a great question we had it last week, and it is.
Let's take some callers.
Right.
Oh, it's
Debo, hit the lights. They're buzzing there. Answer those. Maybe not even what I'm saying.
I wanted to do that. I want to do that on the radio. I want to take some callers. Timmy, let's go to the lines.
Mid game.
Let's take some callers.
We got Debo.
I'd ask guys to call in for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
A great addition to the show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is my friend.
Real time.
Yeah.
So we talked about this too. One of the moves right before the season started was Wade Allison getting sent down. Did you see that coming?
Not really. No, because he had played and he's got a really good shot too.
Yeah.
And I heard he was a guy in the locker room that was well liked.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah,
He's
awesome,
such a
funny
good
guy.
guy.
You want those guys in there, and but again, that's one of those guys. There's guys that had to make the team. There's guys, and that's every year. I don't know where he was in that shuffle. I know he had some injuries, but I mean, he had some young guys on his heels, and going down and up right now with this team. Part of it's coaching, part of it's development, part of it's they want you, right? They're going to need you.
Yeah.
That's what I think any player right now with the Flyers organization needs to understand, that it's not a going down to the minors, it's reserves. Right? Because they're going to need interchangeable pieces all year. Because young guys are going to be young guys. They're going to have hiccups. They're not going to do well, and they may need time down there, right?
Right.
So, and that's never a bad thing, right? It's never a bad thing to go down, but as a player, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's a step back, but you got to have the right approach, man. And the good thing is he's got guys like Scotty Lawton to lean on.
Yeah.
I never seen a guy handle going down in a situation
that's
better.
the truth,
Oh my God.
You know, that was a couple years ago. It's probably forgotten now, but that was the way that he handled it. I was calling the games up there. I was color then, and I was worried for a guy because he was involved. He was a player. He had earned his pick, and this is my opinion, but there was some cap stuff. There was some things going on, right, that were out of players' control, and he handled it like a champ,
pro. Yeah,
like a major pro. He got better. He got fat. he got
the best attitude.
He did. He got better in every area of his game that they called him out in.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. Like, fine, I hear you. You're not. You don't think I'm that good of a skater. Look at him fly now.
Yeah, I
You
know. And he did it
I
with a
love
smile
that
on his
stuff.
face. Too,
Yeah,
'cause
with
I was
a
still
smile.
coaching there.
Yeah,
and
you
then
were still
like, you
coaching.
talk about a
Big fan of
pro.
Scotty Lauder.
Yeah, huge fan.
Big
yeah.
fan of him. It's good. He's going to be a guy.
Love him.
Yeah,
Love him.
Yeah.
having that locker room. So, guys like that are going to help. Guys like Wade, because he did well. He did well in camp.
I was shocked. I was kind of, I don't know if shock's the word, but I was a little surprised by it.
But that's the thing. There's other guys that are doing well too. And they're also saying that, if you're a younger player, and you're maybe in your sophomore years and whatnot, you're still a young player in your developmental years. We're not going to not develop someone because of you, right? So it's like no one's really in the game, in the lineup. No one's really solidified in there. And the younger guys are in the development years. You're going to have to be coming in and out. And Torts has been pretty honest with that from the start and the get-go. Add some pressure, right? Maybe some undue pressure guys don't know, but then as a coach, who's going to be able to handle that stuff. So, Morgan Frost came out last night.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm sure that's the coach's decision. There's reason to it, and
he didn't look happy.
Yeah,
which I don't blame him. You don't want him to be happy. I'm sure Torts
you don't want him to be
okay,
happy.
sure. I don't want to play a home opener.
Yeah, and I think
felt bad.
You let your play speak for itself, and not like he was playing bad, but if you want to stand out, Bobby Brink stood out last night.
He did.
And I'm not comparing them. They're different positions that they play, but it's a dynamic of the youth and the development that I think the coaching staff is trying to implement. Right? It's hard to play in this league.
Right.
And you've got to perform. And that's a good lesson to learn. It's just how he's going to manage it. Morgan Frost, we need you.
Yeah.
He is a skillsy player, and
skilled.
he can create stuff too. Like, I'd even like to see him and Brink together.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not a coach, but seeing it from up there, and I seen Frost down in the minors too. He can dangle. He's one of those special players, and he'll find it up here. He's got the staff around him. He's got coaches around him, support around him. So I like to see how he responds when he gets back in. And maybe he got hurt. Who knows? We don't even know why he came out.
Yeah, that's true. He did warm up though.
Yeah.
So I had heard. Well, I don't know. Elvis told me. I saw something on Twitter and it said Coots was out. So we're getting ready to leave and Dad.
Yeah, Elvis, it was game time.
Elvis says to me, Dad, Coots is playing. Frosty's out. And I'm like, what? I'm like, why? He's like, I don't know, man, but I'm just telling you. Because he had seen it on the thing. I was like, okay. And then I see Frosty warming up, and I'm like, oh, good, he's in. But he obviously got scratched. So, anyway, you're right. It's coaches, like Torts likes doing that too. He likes, he would keep guys on their toes, right? Like he definitely does that, and he's going to squeeze the most out of every player that he can. So
You got to keep these guys honest. I mean, I think it's easy to get complacent. Like a guy like Allison, not saying he was, or even Frosty for that matter, but the room for error is so small, and there's so much competition for these roster spots that a guy like Allison is going to go down. He's going to have a good attitude, and hopefully he can refine his game a little bit. Remember we talked about this last time when he was on with us. It's just like controlling his body more, maybe less injuries. Maybe it's just like more of that rounded game. Maybe Frosty, you can just take one little thing from his last game and bring it to his next game when he's back in the lineup. But it's as long as these guys are learning the lessons. They'll come back better and stronger. And,
it's a tactic, not a punishment.
It's not a punishment at all.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
just
a
part of the
tactic,
game.
not a punishment. It's obviously sucks for any player to
everyone wants to play.
Scratched, but
as long as you
take
learn
it
a
as
lesson.
an opportunity, as a challenge, and that's
it's a challenge.
It'll make you better for it. Like, it's pretty common sense. These things that you're faced with, and other coaches do different things.
Yeah.
I think this is one Torts has been saying from the start that he's going to do.
Yeah.
If you do what we want and provide a level of play, a standard. You've been hearing the rumblings of the standard and implementing and doing certain things to build a certain style of play. It's the best time to do it is implement it now, right?
Yeah.
Learn your mistakes early. Wade going down at the start of the year.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Get back up and show them why, right?
Yeah.
And then the same with Frost. Show them why, right? Show them why you're one of our picks. Show them why we believe in you. Show them why we're putting you. Because it's got to be hard for the coaches too. They got to make these decisions and pull you out. Two-way street, guys, right? And I think today's game, that is more of an open conversation between coaches and players too, right? Like there's a little bit more of a nurturing brand to the coaching that actually has an effective impact on players.
Yeah.
It's not that power hungry mongering type of fear-based approach and I have control over your career. It's like, I want to see you shine, kid. I want to see, and this is hard. It's going to get hard as we get down closer to playoffs. And then when playoffs turn on, guess what? It's the hardest thing to do in all professional sports.
Yeah.
The Stanley Cup.
That's the truth, right?
So, like, all of these things learned early are they're systematic. These guys are thinking about this 24/7, right?
Oh, totally.
Like, they're in that mix, and hopefully that all the players respond the right way and understand. And it's helpful if you have the support of the group, the team, the locker room, which is a whole new dynamic this year.
Yeah.
You subtract 2 or 3 guys. Those 2 or 3 guys might be suppressing or might be overpowering to another person's voice, right, or another person's leadership style or approach. You take them out, the whole room changes. The whole dynamic of the room changes. And Tortorella actually alluded to that. And, they're really big on that. And you guys like Rocky Thompson in there. Like that's a true locker room guy. You got other, guys that understand how important that, how you have to bond in there. And then Coots, veterans, you got the right Lawton in there. You got a good mix of veterans. And you got some swagger guys too, like Konechny.
Yeah.
That locker room is going to be tighter and tighter and tighter this year. And
I agree.
Morgan and all those guys that are going through this stuff, look to your veterans. You have veterans in that room. That's a good dynamic, right?
Yeah.
It's not all young guys.
That's right.
There's some good veterans in there. Stahl, even Walker. He'd come in.
Walker,
Hathaway, D'Lo.
D'Lo.
Yeah, I like wait till we start talking about those guys.
Yeah.
Like those, that's my favorite line. I love them all.
PhD line.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And that's gonna stick.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Didn't Danny come up with that? Was pretty
Danny
slick.
came up
Old
with the
sneaky
PhD.
poo.
Yeah.
Good job,
PhD.
Sneaks. That's a good
Every championship team will tell you one of the best things that they have is the league's best fourth line.
one. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Every
have it.
single, you
dude,
need 'em.
that's so
Necessary.
true.
Yeah.
So true.
And it gives you balance.
I was just thinking of it. You brought up Rocky Thompson. Do you remember where we were when you got called up for your first NHL game? You remember we were on the road with the Phantoms. Do you remember? We were in Louisville,
Kentucky.
So they have
smell like horse shit in there.
Rocky Thompson and Brent Thompson, right? The two numbnuts there. He gets called up. And I think this is the same year. So I'll never forget Fridge's like, forget the word, Billy tells me. And I go into Fridge and he's like, my skates, man. Something's going on with skates. I'm like, you haven't said shit about your skates since I met you. And now there's like, so I don't know, man, but so you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm just laughing. I'm like, hey, you're fine, bro. Like, we probably won't be back with us. It's like, so you're good. But anyway, what I was going to say was Rocky and Todd. So who?
I had
Joe
graph
Patterson.
skates.
Yes.
I had graph skates and you couldn't wear them.
It was something weird.
With the NHL.
But
Sponsorship.
Rocky and
Right.
Spoken Joe
Patterson,
Patterson's
yeah.
coaching Louisville.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay, so he's gone now. And I think you played with Lassard, right?
Yeah,
It was the same
Frankie.
year.
Frankie was there.
So Frankie's the only guy on the ice, and we've got our Czech lines out there: Pletka, Hubacek, and Divasek, and then Frankie and someone else. They drop the puck. Everybody's gloves come off. They pound these 3 Czechs.
Oh.
So, Rocky included, and Tomer, Brent Thompson, 2 people.
Oh, yeah.
You know that joke, 2 people?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it because I don't want him to beat me up. But anyway, they start fighting. They're killing our guys. Everybody's like, what is going on here? And they push Frankie Lassard off in one corner, and they get Tomer off in the other corner. These 2 dummies walk, and they fight right on the cement, and there is a cameraman in the stands right above them, and everyone in the building's like this, and they're just sparks flying. They're toe to toe, but Rocky started that whole thing. I know he'll remember, so you got to bring that up to him in Louisville. I'm sure he'll remember.
Oh, sure.
But it was crazy.
He's a Golden Glove boxer.
He's a tough dude.
Man, he's lean
Oh,
like
yeah, he's
you,
real
man.
lean, yeah.
I saw a picture last night, Fridgie. I was with some of the Warriors last night, and who showed it to me? I think Foss showed it to me. There's a picture of you with all the Warriors from like 3 years ago. You have a suit on, dude. Clean shave, short hair. What a sharp dress, man.
Yeah,
looking
you liked
good.
it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
You see this?
This guy's all over me.
Why?
Shave the beard.
Just
shave
trim
What's
it.
wrong with that?
Trim it.
I think it
He's
looks
a
nice.
professional.
You know, he's professional.
Can I have a beard and be a
You
professional?
can. I just like when you're like clean.
Some frosty tips?
Clean cut. I don't have frosty tips. Friggy, you
You're
had
too
frosty
clean.
tips before.
I had frosty
He had
tips.
frosty
Yeah, he had
tips,
some
you damn
real
right.
frosty
Yeah.
tips.
Yeah.
His hair was white when I
White,
met him,
white,
and it
white.
was this long.
Yeah.
It was long,
I
man.
lost a bet.
His
That
hair
when it was
I
long
thought you were
like
a surfer.
that.
I'm like, this guy's from Cali for sure.
Yeah.
He's a surfer.
Right off
He's
the
sitting
surfboard.
there. I think I told the story the first time you came on.
Hair down to here.
Oh,
Yeah.
his hair was down
Bleach
here.
blonde.
And I look
Real.
over. We're having lunch. Me and Turk are having lunch. I think Rusty Pearl was with us. I think. Or
Oh,
maybe,
yeah,
maybe
Rusty.
Hedgehog.
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
with
yep.
Hedgehog too. We're having lunch.
Yep.
We got a team meeting at 5. We're in Peterborough. Roger Nielsen. And I look over, and we're all four sitting there, and Luke Richardson and Danny McGillis gave us some money. They're like, hey, boys, go get some lunch and some dinner on us tonight. And we're like, oh, thanks. We go down to this bar. We grab some food. And it's like 2 in the afternoon. And I look over, and this guy sitting there having a whiskey and a fucking dart. And I'm like, man, this poor guy, he's had a tough day, you know? Like, I'm like, he's just
Right off
in
the
there.
rig?
Well, no, I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, he must... He looks like he's from California or something, like a surfer, but he's probably just here at lunch. He's working at, wherever. Fuck, we go to the meetings. Here this guy comes walking out. I'm like, hey, you guys remember that guy who was having a dart and a fucking whiskey? It's Fridgie. And then, so, meet Fridgie. I'm like, okay. And then you see him play.
Welcome
You're
to
like,
training camp.
oh, shit. This
No,
guy
I was
can
only
skate.
18.
Oh, man. He could skate. I always say, like, he was big, heavy, but as you know, fucking fast. Obviously running guys through the fucking wall. And I'm like, well, I guess he wasn't having that bad of a day. He was just starting her off or whatever.
Right.
But, oh, man, I'll never forget that. It's just like, oh, man. in
I
my
was
head.
with a couple other older guys.
Yeah.
They
Were
took
you?
me there. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sandy McCarthy, I think,
Oh,
was there.
jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
You got misled.
Yeah.
You're-
Yeah. Yeah.
That
They're like, come
hurts.
with us.
It happens.
You know,
remember-
they were fighters, so I was like, oh, we'll go fight too. Yeah. Follow them.
Well, you know what's funny? I remember
Funny,
that.
fancy finding you here.
You said that because Lassard and Big Sandy fought, and Lassard
Oh, yeah,
did
in camp.
really
Yep,
well. I
yep.
don't think Sandy expected this guy to come at him like that. I mean, he was just,
Yeah.
Frankie
Throwing
just went, just nonstop. He would take him to throw him. Somebody else that would do that. And so Sandy, they get 5 minutes because all we were doing was playing games. They had the 4 teams like Clark used to like to do for camp.
Yeah.
And then they went in the box, 5 minutes, and they came out, and Sandy had undone his thing, and he wanted to go in. They fought again, and Frankie did good again. And I remember saying to Billy, is this guy going to be with us? He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like,
He is now.
woo-hoo.
Yeah.
We had Coupel.
Gary Coupel.
He was the guy
Yeah.
I told you about
Yeah,
who
I
got
remember.
banned from hockey.
Yeah.
But he
happens.
came to camp.
They brought guys in for camp
for
to
camp.
fight each other
Oh,
in
yeah.
camp.
He fights Woody.
We need
He
a couple of guys. Just we need some meat.
Yeah.
We
Right.
need
Steve
some
McLaren.
meat just to get through camp.
Yeah, we need meat. So he's out there. He's playing on Eric's team, Coupal, because they were afraid he's going to club somebody because he'd already been banned for clubbing a guy.
Yeah.
He goes out, and Woody's like, hey, let's go. They fight literally right in front of me, and all you hear is just flash. Just this poor Coop gets in the box like nothing happened. He's got knots all over his head. He can't get his helmet on. He hands me his helmet. I open it up. He had the old CCM helmet
Oh,
on,
yeah.
right? Gets it on. He's like, pulls it on. I tighten the screws, and then Woody's sitting over there, Steve McLaren. He goes, Coop, he goes, that wasn't a good one for me. Let's go again. He's
again.
like, okay. So they get out and go again. This poor bastard.
Yeah. I didn't hit you enough. I didn't hit you enough
only
times.
hit you 20 times. Let me hit you some more. This poor guy's like, okay. And
Okay.
they did it again. I actually
Steve
had
McLaren, right?
Yeah, Steve
Oh,
McLaren.
Woody.
Stone Cold Woody. We had a couple nicknames.
Looked like
for
Woody
him.
Harrelson with a
He was-
massively bad broken nose.
Massively. Remember when Scott Parker broke his nose? Were you with us at that point? Were
Was
you
that
up?
Hershey?
No, but
it was
I
at
seen
home.
that one.
That
I
was at
seen
home.
that one.
That
It's
was
on
against-
YouTube. He hits him with a bomb, and then
I
Woody
remember that.
just goes bananas.
Yeah.
He literally shook it off. Like, his nose was powder. Like, I mean, it was gone.
Yeah.
He came in and he was looking in the mirror and he's like, oh my God. It was bad. It was bad. It was like, oh God. And it was already broken
Yeah,
before
and then he
it
just
was
came on.
bad.
Times.
Woody jumped when he threw.
Oh,
Like he threw so hard his
explosive,
feet would leave
yeah.
the ice. Yeah, yeah, and he was tough.
If he landed one, like a flush one, it usually was 90 night Jim Kite for the other guy.
90 night Jim Kite.
Anyway, yeah.
Segue.
Yeah.
Right.
Segue back down history.
Yeah.
Memory
for
lane.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks for reminding us.
Yeah, I had to. I just thought of it
Pull
because
that
it was
one out of the
Fridge's first
archives,
camp.
yeah.
Oh,
well,
boy.
it was a different game then.
Like I say, I have trying rookie seasons.
Yeah.
I was 18, straight off the farm. Yeah.
I'm
Played
thinking
beer league
here
the
you
year
are
before.
from Cali. So
Huh?
a surfer, he's right off the farm.
Yeah, right.
Couldn't
Oh,
have been
Homer
more
told
wrong.
me to cut my hair when I got here because it was
It was long.
it was
aggressive?
wrong. I didn't know. I was naive,
How
not
would you know,
disrespectful.
right?
Yeah.
But here they took it as disrespect, and I was funny too. Homer asked me to get a haircut. He goes, "Cut that."
Yeah.
And he didn't, it's explicitive. He said, "Cut that hair," and I didn't cut it the next day. And because he would walk through in the morning, right? The brass would walk through and they go up. This was at the old Coliseum, and this is in summertime, so it was rookie camp. The next day he comes in. He stops, and I'm messing around, having fun with the guys, making everybody laugh, which I love to do. He goes, "I thought I told you to cut that hair."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, he was serious." I'm like, "Yeah, man,
Serious.
go cut this." I
Yeah.
think it was Rusty's like, "There's a barber right there, and this right by the hotel where you guys are staying. Go
Yeah.
and get your hair cut." I said, "Oh, no.
You really
I'll
want
go
to.
show him. I'll get my hair cut." See, I'm gonna cut my hair. So I got Homer has a buzz cut. Like a straight
the
top
high and
buzz
tight,
cut.
yeah.
Yep. I got the exact same haircut as him. I got the exact same haircut. Like I got a buzz cut.
You had that for a while.
I did, yeah.
I had a buzz cut, and then sure enough, and I didn't know Homer at
Right.
the time, right? And I was like, "Do you like my haircut?" The next morning, I know, like the most stoic face I've ever seen.
yeah.
He was not happy about it. he just didn't nod or anything. I was just like,
look at you.
"Keep your mouth shut, kid. You're a rookie camp." He's one of the. That's how things started for me with Paul Holmgren. Yeah, he made me cut my hair. Yeah, it was long.
I remember
Oh,
how
it
long
was so
yeah.
long, man. He used to say that to me once in a while. He'd be like,
Yeah.
He wouldn't say, "Go cut your hair." He'd be like, "Hey, you probably need a haircut, don't you?" I knew what that meant. Oh, yeah. All right, I guess I do. Like,
Well,
next
you
day
don't want to
come
look
in.
like a slob, and I looked like a slob.
You told me to lose some lbs one summer. So you're looking a little chubby there, Ross.
You say, "Well, hey, listen, man, Nasco to fucking BK late night. Don't mess up our BK."
Yeah, I know.
Burger
I thought
King.
you wanted me to
We've
be
said it
heavy.
100 times, but we'd be going out somewhere. And we'd get on the highway on 42. And there's a Burger King. I'm like, "We're not stopping there tonight." Nope, not a chance. Come home, Riggs, pull in the BK.
Let's go.
2 Whoppers, fries,
Oh,
milkshake.
Mayonnaise and bacon, cheese,
Don't remind me.
double Whopper.
Well, God, you
Everybody
don't even
does
eat
it.
anymore now.
Everybody
know.
does it.
Don't
It's
even
the
eat.
worst.
Eats like a bird now.
Well,
Good. I wish
probably
I
hasn't
wish I
eaten in
had
2
that
days.
straight.
He probably hasn't eaten in 2 days.
famished
man.
here, yeah.
It's like,
going strong.
I remember Tommy, masseuse Tommy one time went through this like fast. It was like for somebody, and he only ate
40
like,
days, right?
it was something
Without water?
Great. No, it was
No.
No,
Yeah.
he had apple.
No, you die.
Yeah, you
he
die
only
for
had
sure.
water and like 2 apples a day. For I don't know how long it was, but it was a little bit. And I remember not seeing him for like a week, and then I saw him like the next week, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened to you, man?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing that fast." I'm like, "Dude, eat something, man. You don't look right." I mean,
Yeah, he probably looked gaunt, yeah.
he didn't look right.
It's healthy for you. I heard the fasting's healthy for you. It's something that our bodies used to do a long time ago, I guess.
Yeah, well, fasting is a huge part
but
of
I mean,
Welsh culture. Well,
a
yeah,
lot
it
of
depends.
people
As
are
long
doing
as
it,
it's
too.
mindful and done
Right. Done
appropriately.
properly.
But
He did
Yeah.
not look well.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm more of the starving variety. I can't eat for like 3 days. I just ate a whole cow.
yeah. But it doesn't sound too dangerous if he's drinking water, eating apples.
It doesn't.
No.
But he didn't look.
No, well,
he
he's
just-
losing weight, right?
But so fast.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it was
fast.
like crazy.
It happens.
But
fast.
anyway, it does. It
Little
does.
cleanse.
I know, a little cleansy
You never fasted
on
before?
Sunday. I do it every day.
Every day?
Well, just about.
After the milkshake?
I didn't have a milkshake. Fuck this guy, Fridge. Hey, you ever spin around someone that makes you feel guilty for eating? Like you can't eat around Riggs.
Why?
I know.
You know
say-
why? You look at them laughing. They know. Oh,
I wanna be-
Debo, you
I
really
wanna
gonna
be
eat that
around
piece of
him.
pie?
I don't say that.
Oh, baller!
Give me
you
a
can
break.
eat that cake.
I want to be around him so it rubs off, just so I can copy it.
You're asking me
I'm
for
kidding. He's-
advice,
no,
and
I
I'm
know.
saying, well,
You
maybe
don't
gas
must
the
be-
milkshake. And then
I
you're
just
like,
said the DD, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Dennis Heidenberg. I used to ask him in the summertime. He's Dennis is one of my best friends, and every summer I was a heavier guy. I would always, because he was so honest. I don't know if it's the culture in German, like they don't get sarcasm, but I'd be like, Dennis, and I'd be working out too. I'm like, do you think I'm fat? And he would take his time and he would pinch me where I'm fat. He'd be like, a little bit right here. Right here.
But you remember?
Oh my God, I loved him for it. I loved him for it.
Just a little bit.
Remember, Denny? Like if you said,
And then he'd tell you what workout to do.
yeah,
right.
if
You
you
need to do
ever,
more
you know,
squats,
he's
dude.
always jacked, right? He was always like he loved to lift.
Oh, yeah.
But if you just, it was so fun. I can't remember who did it first, but they'd be like, "Hey, give him shit." So I'd be like, "Hey, have you not lifted in a few weeks? Why? Why?" And I'm like,
with his
"Well, you
head.
just look a little leaner." No, are you serious? Nash, you serious? I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, I mean, you just don't look as as big."
He was
you
one of
fuck-
those
are
guys
you
that had
fucking with me?
metabolism.
Oh,
High metabolism.
It was just funny.
And then he'd be upstairs for an extra 3
but he would
hours.
look fine. Obviously,
Oh,
he
yeah,
looked
of
great.
course,
But
yeah.
he, like, if you said that to me, like, why?
Yeah, he loved.
Why you
just-
say I haven't lifted in a few weeks? I'm like, oh, you just
Yeah.
look leaner. No, I don't.
Just look skinny.
Yeah.
He did not like that.
Yeah.
If you
It
call him
was
skinny,
funny,
I'd
man.
get
Then he started laughing once he knew we were messing
He
with
was
him.
always trying to gain. I was always trying to cut, and we
Yeah.
were best of friends in the summer. Slowest eater in the world. I
Oh, I remember
thought he had
that.
a
My God.
small esophagus. Sorry, Dennis, we're burying
Yeah,
it.
sorry, Daddy.
One of the greatest actual teammates, though.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and you know
Great
what?
guy.
I want that
Competitors,
guy
yeah.
around any
Totally.
teammate,
Yes.
any hockey player, any time of the day.
I agree. I
Because
love
he
Dennis.
is the epitome. Like, the things that bother Dennis are what, like, professional athletes need to be having bother them as well.
Yes.
Because he always wants to be healthy. He still trains. He still works out.
he looks great. I
Just
saw him.
does all the right things. He's all around good guy.
Yep.
Yeah, Dennis was fun here, man. I remember how
Yeah.
much he trained in the summertime.
Were you here when he got hurt really bad with his leg?
Yes.
Oh my God! You talk about
Spiral
coming
fracture.
back from that was bad. I remember it in camp, right? Yeah. It was in the
Yes.
crease. Someone
Yep.
fell, man. Oh
Yep.
God,
Yep.
it was bad. But he bounced back, won a Stanley Cup
He
in
did.
Boston.
Yeah.
He's a competitor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
a
still in
great
with the
guy.
Islanders.
Great guy. One with us, with the
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
forget
did.
about that. Jesus, we
Yeah.
didn't mention him a few weeks ago when we were talking about that team, but with Kobe.
That's right.
I forgot about Dennis. Didn't mention him, but yeah, great guy. You're right.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a
a
guy
warrior.
you want around your kids, and I think that's kind of what he's doing with the Islanders.
Lou's
And
got
there's-
him
there's a
locked up,
reason-
yeah.
There's a reason he's doing it.
Yeah.
So he's good
What's
at
his
it.
role there? Player
I
development.
believe he's doing player development.
Player development. He
Yeah, he's a
spends
good guy to
time
have
with the
around.
players. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's a guy
does
you want.
on-ice
Yeah.
You
stuff.
want around your players.
Yeah.
for sure.
Great attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Loved having him around.
Yeah.
Works hard.
Good hockey guy.
great guy.
Back
Great
to the
guy.
PhD. So
You're
let's
welcome.
spun all this stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
The grit.
Yeah.
Oh, the
grit.
PhD.
PhD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that line.
Yeah.
PhD. Hathaway. Paling.
He's the H.
Yep.
I think.
Hathaway.
I get confused.
Paling. Hathaway.
Deloria.
Dio.
Yeah, D'Lo.
Yeah.
Delorier.
D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, I love that line.
Yeah.
The PhD line.
Yeah.
One more question, Fridgie. Other than Brink, because we talked about Brink, who else has impressed you? Like so far, I know we're only 3 games in. We got a lot of hockey to play, but
Well, Sanheim and
Yeah.
Jaeger Zamula.
Yeah, Big Z.
Yeah,
Great
dude, they
goal
put
last
on
night.
20 pounds each.
Yeah,
And
It's hard to believe, actually.
Not the 20 pounds that a guy like me puts on.
Right.
It's the right kind.
Yeah.
It's all muscle. And I found that out after camp started, and I'm like, dude, they're moving too well for that. Like,
Yeah.
to put that amount of weight on is a lot over the summer if it's all muscle, but to be able to move still is
Yeah.
what's impressed me. Sanheim has impressed me. Well, he's going to impress you anyways, but he's impressed me because the Torts decided to move him to the off wing, right, on D, the offhand, and it's supposed to, like, he loved it. Right,
Yeah.
and he sees the offensive zone more. He's a little bit because he's open, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He can see the ice a bit better. That's a big adjustment to
It
make
is.
for
Yeah, it
any
is.
D-man,
Yeah.
for any forward too, any position change like that. But I just love the way he's handled it, and plus he's skating well too.
Oh, he can skate.
Yeah,
That's
Zamula
for sure.
is a guy that's impressed me too. He's a lot similar to I don't know who to compare him to, but he's just playing well.
Well,
right
he's
now.
long.
He's
He
playing
can
well
skate.
right now. He's long.
He's a pretty smart player.
Yeah.
You know, you remember how we got him? Actually invited him to a development camp. He was undrafted, and then we signed him.
That's right, yeah.
And that's
that's
he's,
great.
He's made his way up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a guy, you know.
You love stories like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
and he's
he's
a
in the
great
lineup.
kid too. I don't know if you got a chance to
And Brink.
get to know him.
Brink has been a guy that's impressed me the whole camp. And obviously he's a guy that's trying to make it too, so he's got a little bit more of a magnifying glass on him. But
Yeah.
no, he's rising above. He's a guy that I'm excited about. You know how well he's doing.
Yeah.
And you know what, Coots and Atkinson,
I was just
Yeah.
going to ask you
because
about
like
them.
like a year off of this game, like that's a long time.
Coots
And both of them.
Coots hasn't scored a goal in almost 2 years.
You got one
Till
last night,
That's
baby.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It was almost 2 years.
Yeah.
December of
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
2021
Yeah.
was the last time he scored.
Yeah, I got him beat.
Yeah.
And I was playing. No, but that's a long time away. Atkinson too, and they're
Yeah,
big
full year.
injuries.
Yeah.
Like, let's not beat around the bush. Those are big injuries. You want to see players come back from those, and they did, but they came back like almost fully healed. Like I don't see a misstep. Coots he's obviously engaged in every play. He's playing all big minutes, and it's just good to see. It's really good to see him back in the lineup because that changes the dynamic of the team. And Atkinson too.
Yeah,
is
Lofts
a really
talked
good
about
player,
that
too.
last night about how much of a just to have him around more.
Yeah, that
obviously
leadership
in the
and-
room and.
A lot of good things. A
Yeah.
lot of good bright spots that at the start of the year you're looking through the lineup, you don't really know who a lot of these guys are, but you're going to know them soon. You're going
Yeah.
to know them soon. They're going to win you over. They're all going to work, right? I think that's the one thing Torch is pushing. Like, these guys are going to have to work. We're going to teach you to work here, and that's a Flyer thing. Like, Torch is good for that because he does it well. Like, he preaches that well as a coach. It's going to fit here, right? You're going to have to be a worker if you come into Philly, regardless of who your coach is. If you're a player here, learn to work because you can lose if you work. You know, you can. It's not you want to accept losing, but if you're going to lose in Philadelphia,
there's a way to lose.
There's a way to lose
yeah.
here. You know, you got to lose the right way. You got to make it hard on them, no matter what.
Yeah.
Make sure that the team that comes into this town feels like they were in a hockey game, regardless, right? And right now, rebuilding, that's a good message to have. You know, because the kids that develop here and stay here, they're going to see that fan base. You know what? Don't worry. Stick with it. You're going to hear that at the Wawa or at going to get a cheesesteak somewhere in the city. The fans get behind you here, and they ain't afraid to say something to you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
once that starts happening with these younger guys, and it still happens now, and if you don't get that, it's because you're not working, right? So I think that's an element that'll always be here, and that's what I want to see continue to. Right, is have that and work. What I mean by work today is that tough brand of hockey. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, speed and a hardworking team. That's intimidation now. I think
Yeah.
It is.
We've got to have that. We've
Yeah.
got to have that in Philly. We've got to own that. If we're going to own a trait in hockey, it's going to be intimidation. So find a way it looks, whatever it looks like now. You know, find it in today's game and try to use it to your advantage because they love it here. Philly
yeah.
loves that brand of hockey, that brand of athlete, that brand of sport, and they get behind you, and it makes a difference.
It does.
It makes a
Big
huge difference. Philly, like nowhere else. You look at the Phils right now, the Eagles, like everyone, even at the national stage, will say there's home ice advantage or there's home field advantage, and then there's Philly. Like, you hear that because it's our fan base.
Yep.
It's our fans. They're nuts. They're ours, and we love them, and you can't say anything about them. We appreciate that, and yeah, it's a good place to play. It's a good place to play, and hopefully the players see that quick here because this is going to be one of the best places to play in the league. I think, you know, in coming years, and it's because even look at the history of the Flyers. Like, we create good hockey people across the board. Hockey players go and they win somewhere else. Why? To shove it up our butts? No. It's because they're developed the right way here. Everybody loves getting a Flyer once they leave here. I was one of those guys. Everywhere I went, they were like, maybe I'll play that Flyer style, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you okay? So they wanted that everywhere
Right.
it went, right? And I understood what that was, you know? I learned it here, right?
Yep.
You as well. So that's something we got to own. You know, is that element of the game.
Yeah.
And it helps the game get better too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get beaten and worn down like that. It'll make everybody else get a little bit tougher too. So
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of creating that foundation. I mean, as you know, right? I mean, top down leadership. Torts obviously implementing his philosophy, and it's Flyers hockey. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, I have a hard time believing anyone is going to buy into any other type of system, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the ethos of what the Flyers stand for. So
yeah.
I think we talked about this last week, even going into the end of last season. It was just like, I think the Flyers are going to be better than most people give them credit for this year. You know, again, you mentioned Coots and Atkinson, but just obviously leadership and skill. But guys are working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're buying into a program that's legitimate. And I know we're only 3 games in here, but
Right. Usually when we get really excited,
yeah.
let's
talk about the next game then.
Right. Yeah, what were you going to ask him earlier about?
Well, we got
the next
Edmonton
team?
coming up too.
Oilers coming in. Anybody to look out for, Bridget?
Gretzky used to play there back in the day. I think he might come into town just to watch him. I think he's still a fan of the team. Caught him a couple times. Connor McDavid, man.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Not bad.
We got a history.
What's the game
Talking
plan?
about
Good
speed.
history.
What's the pre-scout on old McDavid?
Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Watch those guys.
Yeah,
Keep
I
them
know.
off the power play.
Yeah.
It'll be watching those guys,
Yeah, you
like
gotta
especially
stay
Connor McDavid. He's a special player. Those feet move, man, and he is at another level when it comes to how he moves around on the ice. It is
crazy.
something to see. Yeah, come and watch that game. See if old Delhi can shut those D'Lo can shut him down, huh?
Yeah, right.
That's a good thing. Like, we can play against those guys. Like that, our fourth line. I hate calling it the fourth line. It's a shutdown line, right? It's an energy line. They're a tool, right? And they're a good tool, right? Like they can shut those guys like McDavid down, and still produce too. Like if you're making a guy like McDavid playing his end, you're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah,
if
you make
can
them
do
play
that.
defensively.
That's the ideal
you're doing a good job.
situation, yeah.
And those guys have done a good job of that all year. So I'd like to see some of those matchups, you know, against McDavid, Draisaitl, because those guys are potent players, and they got some young guys coming in too, and they got a couple big D men that are play a pretty snarly game, and I think it's Darnell Nurse plays, you know, with an edge, and you know we're all for that. We like that style here in Philly, so
Yeah, for
should
sure.
be a good game.
You're right, though. One thing with that team is you want to stay out of the box. I mean, their power play is pretty impressive. Not bad.
What's the game plan? You ask Torts in the morning?
Yeah,
No,
do you-
I don't. I
you
try to
wanna
stay out of
ask
those meetings. Like, I don't want to be a torts. I'm a media guy now, so like I'm already walking on eggshells like around them because I don't want to say the wrong thing and then have that happen to you.
Don't-
Like, oh, dude, well, you know, have you ever? Because if you ask me if I've ever been in a fight, I'll be like, yeah, I have. 350.
Brooksy. Don't be Brooksy.
No, he's not like that. I can see that. You know what? After meeting Torts and seeing, like, I think he's actually adapted a little bit over the past couple of years, and I don't think it's just been in Philly. Like, remember the old days? He used to go at him. It was just.
You just loved to.
It
watch.
was
I loved
great.
I loved listening to what he was
I was
gonna
like,
say.
I like that guy, man,
Yeah.
because you could hear that he's sticking up for the guys like
Yeah.
a little bit, and you'd have to be a player to really know that, right?
Right.
So it's the real deal. Like, he really does do that, and he does not like when you ask him questions that touch that realm of personal space in the team, the locker room. He shouldn't be asking those questions. Like, I get where his angst comes from because it's hollowed information. It's personal information. It's coaching information, and you got to reserve some stuff, but
You
for
just
just
gotta
those
ask
guys
him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Torts, hey.
Yeah.
Who we going with tonight? Who's in
I
that?
asked him one question in like a media interview. It was
it a question
Timmy
or
and
one
Jimmy
word?
Jackson. Well, I didn't even ask him anything. I just asked for a comment because what am I going to ask him? Like, it's this. I said Bobby Brink, and he goes, "Oh, I love him." And he just started talking. He didn't say he loved him. He goes, "The kid's doing all the right things. You know, we asked for certain things and in camp, and he's kind of pushing my hand. Like, I have to give what is shown to me, and you know that's why I like it. It seems like it's an honest approach, an honest coach, and as a player, you got to love that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
and I've always heard that about him. He's like, yeah, he's hard on the guys. And you may not like that, but at the end of the day, he's fair. So, and we're playing a hard game.
Yeah.
So at some level, you're going to be introduced to hard, son. You know, where that is and how that happens, who knows? But Torts has a certain way about it. So I like his approach, man. I would have liked to play for him.
Yeah, I wonder how many media guys over the years like purposely
dread it.
Yeah. Well, though that too, but like purposely, like
Said
maybe Larry
something to
Brooks
try to,
probably
like,
just
yeah.
almost like you
I think Larry Brooks was doing it every day.
Well,
Like, he
looking for
wanted-
a little battle,
Yeah,
knowing
like-
knowing how he reacts, so you almost get a response out of
Brooks,
him.
you ever been in a fight? Did
Yeah.
you get beat up? No,
Yeah,
you've been
who
beat
was
up a
that?
lot in
Larry
New York.
Brooks out
Yeah.
of New York. Yeah.
What do you say? You must get beat up a lot when you're in school or something like that. No, actually, I didn't.
Actually, I did.
Actually, I didn't.
Toughest guy on the block.
Yeah, he's so tough. Larry from the block. Yeah. well,
But why poke the
Yeah,
bear? Like
why?
we were
Well,
like
that's
that.
right.
You know what?
Exactly.
Like
Why
if you're
poke
gonna,
the bear? Right,
you know
exactly.
you're gonna get a response, and
You know what would have been
you gotta
great
respect
if you
the
found
man.
out they were buddies. It would have been great to find out they were
Oh,
buddies.
yeah, right. It was all staged. It was all staged. Yeah, right. Get the ratings up.
WWE.
Yeah.
Little fucking, no, I don't think it was.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
But
You
The
gotta
first,
be very-
one of the first days in camp, because I was going around the rink when it was announced that I'd be doing some of the broadcasting. And just want to go around and find out some of the people and some of the areas that you go to in media, right? So I was going. They were having the pressers upstairs at the skate zone, and it was the first time Joe Seville comes out. He announces who's coming, and he's like, "Tortorella will be out in 5 minutes." And then it went really quiet in there, right? And I was like, oh, and Heartsy was in there too.
Yeah.
So we were like, I'm like, you smell that, Heartsy? Smells like shit. 'Cause everybody in there was all media people.
yeah.
And they were just probably, it got so quiet in there because they're like, oh, what's it going to be like this year? So it's true. It's true. The media guys are like, and some of them probably design their questions to prompt that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, but that's for the response. It's good entertainment.
Yeah,
But
it is.
Torts ain't giving him nothing.
No,
He's,
really,
he's, got,
been
it's,
pretty
he's
good.
way above it, man. He's
Yeah,
looking
well,
at the
that's
It's
it.
almost
team.
like he's counting. You can see him going, well, okay, count to 10.
Yeah.
You know, and then
The wires are on
yeah. You should be in there with Torts doing some of your.
He's sitting on his meditation
Yeah,
cushion before
yeah.
his media scrums, just so
Yeah.
he doesn't become so reactive.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
No, he's good. He's good. Yeah, I haven't seen that from him here, and I don't think it would fly as much anymore. Too right, like to really get engaged with that, it would do nothing but make you look a little bad. But
It does, yeah.
unless
Makes
the
you look
reporter's
unhinged.
really doing it, like
Yeah.
I would never fault him for going at the guys, because Philly's probably one of the worst cities for it still. I don't know.
I mean, it used to be
You know?
for sure.
Panach,
but-
remember Panach and
Oh, my
Clarkey? Oh,
God.
come on. Yeah. They would he'd be like, we're not filming right now. But Panach would do it. Tim Panaccio, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And then they
I mean,
hire
that's
him,
what I
and
mean.
then he's supposed to be
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's friend, right?
That's
You're
what I
like,
mean.
I
It's
like
deliberate.
Panach. I actually liked him because
Yeah.
I mean, I was on a different level than you guys, so he would make me laugh. I'd just fuck with him all the time. But then when he was like working for the team after he buried the team for years, you
Yeah.
know, like always had
It's-
something to say.
it's a different
It's just
dynamic.
Like, what do you expect the guy? Do you think they like you?
Yeah.
Like just because now you're working?
Yeah.
But they actually ended up liking him, and I think didn't Prolins used to fuck with him all the time. He was pretty good.
Yes.
Like calling Tim because
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
else called him
yeah.
Panach,
Yeah,
so he would
right.
call him Tim. Tim, come on now.
Yes, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just give it to him. But
Yeah.
oh man, yeah, it's a little different now.
A little different
A
animal.
little different.
So what is the game plan against old Jesus?
McJesus,
Jesus.
I think shut him and Drizzy down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably a good play.
yeah, probably the plan.
Who do you play against him?
Well, he said PhD.
Yeah.
Throw him
So
out
is that
there.
is that what's happening?
I have no idea.
It sounded like you got the
You
inside
should have asked Torts
That's
in the
my
morning.
answer to everything. My answer to everything this year. What should we do about this? Well, there's a line that I'm got in my back pocket. Call them the PhD line. Put them out there. They'll do something.
They'll do something.
They will. They've done it all year. They've been together since the first day of camp.
Have they really?
Yeah. So I don't know if Hathaway and Deloria have known each other or whatnot, but they're similar in style, I guess, and
Yeah.
they understand. They've been around a bit. They understand the importance of that line. And then Paling, I think, is
Didn't he play with
also picked up.
D'Lo? Am I wrong? Did they play together?
There might be a
in
connection. We'll
Montreal?
have to look into this. I'm going to look into this. I'll look into this.
I could be way off.
This is good, but they've been together since camp pretty much started, and they gelled right away. Chemistry's there, and they all know what their job is too, and it's to generate energy. And look, this is not just like, it's not a fourth line like it was.
Yeah,
like so, it's like that's why it's a label from. It's a strategy line, man. Like they're there to do a job, and they do it very good all the time. Like I have not yet them see to a miss. Like it's a simple straight north game, and if they get in the offensive zone, they're capable, very capable of generating some offense too. So hopefully that starts to happen for them.
Well, you're a D-man going back. You know, these two guys are coming,
those guys
especially
around.
Hathaway and D'Lo. I mean, all of them, but Hathaway and D'Lo, like your head's on a swivel. That puck's dumped into your corner. Yeah. Right, Fridge? Like,
they'll come to hit you too.
Yeah.
That's another thing I've noticed too. Is a lot. The hitting is picking up, I think, but it's not like guys aren't running people. It's just the forecheckers are faster, so they're on you and they're using body to separate man from puck. I like that. I like that. You're gonna wear down on guys. Guys are gonna start throwing it away. Like that's still an element.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna go away.
Yeah,
I hope it does.
It slid away. It slid a little bit because the timing of it was like keep your speed was kind of the
I
thing,
think
but
that was part of some of the philosophy around.
Yeah, but then I don't know. It creates a different game. It does. It stops the puck movement. And I think what Torts was saying just in some interviews that he wants to make sure that they're not just, if they're running out of decisions with the puck, to just wheel it or rim it or send it around in the offensive zone. Make a decision with it. Make a 5-foot play. Do something with it other than that. Don't use that as default. And I think a lot of players over time got into that as default. Pass it around until something developed instead of hold it. Let's wait a little bit. And I think the players are doing that too now. You know, that's why Morgan Frost is going to be important. He can do those things. Bobby Brink can do those things. Coots is a smart, crafty little player. Yeah, he is. Like those guys are going to be able to Atkinson and next, like Konechny's, he's going to be able to do that stuff. They can hold the puck, and that's the differences in the game. I think that hitting happens and stopping that puck move and setting up and stuff. It's actually more entertaining too. Oh yeah, like it is because you're going in there, somebody's going to get a hit, so the player has to get ready for it. Yeah. It's a different. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I've seen a lot of it from the Flyers this year. Yeah, and it shows work. Yeah, it does. It tells everybody you're going to get this every night. They're going to hit you. Yeah. Not a lot of teams do. We're not a fast wheeling team, but they're going to hit you. It's going to be a hard night tonight. That's a good thing to have.
That's a really good thing.
For any team, and I think the Flyers can own that. I think they're going to own that this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because everybody's doing it. All four lines are kind of working in that approach. Even the skilled guys are doing those things, and that's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Be an exciting season. Are you playing the alumni game in January?
I think so. I think I got the call. Got to get a new set of wheels. Skates.
I know a guy. Sold a pair of mine. Still working on getting them back.
They're ordered. Relax. Jeez. You do need them, man.
I do.
Just looking at your skates the other day.
Yeah, they're rough.
They're in bad shape.
But you sold my pair, so.
Friggy going to be using a Tovey. We got to get a Tovey in his hand for the game.
Did you snipe with the Tovey last year? Or what did we play that?
Oh, is that the one with the waffle maker?
The Diamond Air Blade technology,
Diamond Air Blade.
Technology. Don't forget that part. That's how you buried. Riles buried first shift, I think.
A little hot sauce from Brash.
A little sauce from Brash. Fucking Litz come over like Bernie with the 2-pad stack.
Oh, yeah. Boosh is going in.
Is he playing?
I think. Yeah, I think Boosh might be playing in it. Johnny's going to be playing in it. I don't know if they got E to come back for it.
Oh, yeah?
Kupal. I mean,
no, maybe Frankie the Animal will come play in it. Well, how's that guy doing? He's still pouring concrete?
Oh yeah, he's doing well, man.
You're a good guy.
He's doing well. Yeah, he's awesome. Saw him a few weeks ago. So, Fridgy, we can't thank you enough, brother.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations, man. So happy for you. Proud of you. You're doing a great job so far, and it's really cool.
Thanks, guys. I'll always be a fan of the show, fan of you guys, man. It's fun to come on here and do this stuff.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll bring you on sooner than later.
Hell yeah.
4.0.
When we win it all, right?
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, thanks, Fridgy.
What do we do? Say bye?
Yeah. Just
Bye,
say
everybody
to Debo.
in Nasty Knuckles land.
Bye.
See ya.
A big thank you to the Fridge, Todd Fedoruk, for hopping on. What a beauty.
Great guy, good friend, great teammate. You were a teammate with him in juniors as well.
Junior hockey, American League,
Yep.
a little bit with the Fly guys.
Yep. Awesome guy.
Still to this day, what a beauty.
Just into his new role, enjoying it, and he's doing a really good job, man. So it's nice getting him in.
Yeah.
Talking to the Fridge, he can he always puts a smile on our face.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
He's a goofball. Perfect
Yep.
job for him. You
Yes.
know, just obviously knows the game, but I think the most important asset he has is personality.
Yeah,
He's
great personality.
funny
for
as
sure.
hell. Keeps things light, and I think he'll continue to get better at organically sneaking in his funniness. So
Yeah,
look forward to
for sure.
hearing some outtakes. It's the season.
I hope will they give us some out? They can't have outtakes. It's live, baby.
We can record it.
Yeah. Oh man, he's great.
All right.
Okay.
All right, we're ready here now.
Is it
What do
that
you got?
time?
It's that time.
Is it clear question time?
It is.
Well, you know who it's brought to you by.
Who?
Clear Rum.
Oh.
Go to clearrum.com. Nasty 2023 gives you 35% off of your order in PA. So get on it.
It's too bad you live in Jersey.
It doesn't matter. I drive over. And then I do it.
Still
I
get-
got a P.O. box. I got a P.O. box in PA. That's how I do it.
You pay full price.
Nope.
No.
I get 35% off.
All right. I love it.
Get on it. It's the best going.
All right. Here we go, baller.
We got one from Dr. Brizgalov over on Twitter.
Dr. Briz.
Which player in Flyers history could drink the most clear rum in a weekend? And who would drink the most beers?
Wow. Clear rum. Who can drink the most clear rum?
Kyle
Well-
Calder.
Kyle Calder was really good. Don't want to make him look bad, but he could put some stuff down. The Count, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I remember him saying,
Put him back.
from the Madison Square Garden to the Spectrum back in the day on the bus, 24.
Whew.
And that
That's
ride.
work.
Yeah, and Fridge, keep it down. I think Fridge may still be here because I'm still hearing him in my ear.
Bring it down.
Bring it down. I think the Count, although I wasn't in that era, but I had heard that some big guys, right? Like
Yep.
could drink some beer. My boy Dustin Buffalo could put, he's holding the beer in his hand and that thing like disappears. But who could drink the most clear rum, Riggs? That you're thinking of?
It's a good question, Josh Grad.
I was gonna. He was in my back of my mind too. Grats. Sorry for partying.
Sorry for partying. He's sober now, but
Yeah,
he could have put him back nicely.
He could put him back. That's a good answer. Let's go with Gratz.
All right.
Yep. Good question.
Josh Gratton.
Yeah, but he doesn't drink anymore.
Yep. Drank enough for a few lifetimes.
He did. He did. Yeah, he'll tell you that too.
All right, we got one from Philadelphia Flyagram over on Instagram. How many jerseys do players typically wear each game? Is it just one, or are they swapped out each period to make them available for auctions and supplying companies like Upper Deck with game-used material?
So most goalies a few years ago that started wearing one a period. It's a funny story about Carter, his first game, when he got called up for his first game. I go to take his jersey that he wore in the first period. We had a shutout through the first period, and I put another jersey, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, you're going to wear 3 tonight," and then that was one of the main reasons. But it was also for my gray. So they had
Right.
3 and Flyers had 1, whatever. Carter would get 1 because we'd usually give the player the jersey, but he didn't want to change because he was, I guess, superstitious. But a lot of the goalies always changed. A few players here and there. Nick Grossman was a guy that would wear 3. Goody would wear 3. Radko Gudas.
And that was his choice? That wasn't by design?
They just sweat so much,
Oh,
man.
right,
It was
yeah.
just like the thing's
Yeah.
drenched by the
Sure.
end of the period. And then there are nights where, for something like you said with the cards, they put pieces of the jersey in, they had certain dates, and it'd be like, okay, by this day we need, 5 jerseys from Coots. So I may give him a jersey. I'd try to do it all within 2 games instead of like every game just to get it over with. So that's how they kind of did it. Usually it was just goalies. They would wear 3, change every period. But like I said, some guys that sweat a lot. And then there's like special nights where everyone would wear a new jersey just for the game. It becomes a pain in the ass because like I used to have to alter the sleeves for some guys.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of work.
And it's like, you're like, oh shit, tonight we got to do all new jerseys. So, but anyway, that's a good question.
Yeah, really good question. I didn't have that problem with oversweating. 4 or 5 minutes a night.
Dude, like, let's not get this wrong. You were sweating because of everything you were on. Yeah, you were sweating.
I was sweating.
You just didn't change your jersey.
Yeah.
You just didn't change your jersey. Unless it ripped.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We got one last one, and it's a challenge.
Ooh.
This is from Cow Pies Hockey over on Twitter. When do you guys want to do a 4v4? Hollydale, Choice, both?
Well, Riggs.
I'm down anytime, anywhere, because I'm now ready to rock. 2 weeks in, 2 weeks in a row I've been on the ice.
I'm now ready to rock.
Well, it's been 3 or 4 months that I've been laying dormant.
It has
all
been.
Fresh.
Hey, guys, reach out. Send us a message. Tell us what you want to do.
4v4, I like it.
We'll put our team together. 4v4, that's a little different. Why wouldn't we just
Well,
do
it'd be probably
3v3?
full ice, wouldn't it?
I guess it would have to be.
Yeah.
Gives you lots of room, opens it up for you.
Opens it up.
Perfect for your game.
Yeah.
Not so much mine.
No?
Well, if it's on a smaller rink, it's okay.
You're top of the circles, any type of guy.
You've seen the middies.
Yeah, I did.
They're
the patience?
They're terrible. There is patience just because my hands don't work properly.
Just freeze up.
freeze, and somebody goes by me. It looks like I meant to do it.
Ultra
Ooh,
present.
yeah.
Ultra patient.
Oh, yeah, super patient. Bring it on, Cow Pie University. What was it?
Cow Pies Hockey.
Cow Pies Hockey. I'm kidding. Cow Pies Hockey. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. That's
ready.
cool.
We're ready.
Let's do it.
That's a wrap, Nast.
That's it?
That's it.
Challenge accepted.
Accepted.
Okay.
I'm
Debo's
ready.
ready. Debo said he's in
Pins
net.
are ready.
Pins are ready.
Hip flexors and groins have healed from last week.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Let's do it.
and that's a wrap. Episode 130 in the books. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, ask a few questions. Until then, whoa. Until next week, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.